Hello, future kindergartners and future kindergarten parents of El Dorado. We are so excited to have next year with you guys, and we can't wait to see you next year. But we wanted to share a orientation video so you guys kind of know what to expect for next year. So this is our kindergarten orientation video. I would like to introduce, I'm Julie Crawford. I am the school principal. Go ahead, ladies.
Hi, I'm Allison Hawk. I'm the assistant principal. Welcome to El Dorado.
I am Chris Kern. I'm the one of the kindergarten teachers at El Dorado.
I'm Emily Romo. I'm another kindergarten teacher.
And I'm Michaela Kaufman, the third kindergarten teacher. Welcome.
Welcome.
And our kindergarten team is made up of our kindergarten teachers, obviously, and then we have two educational assistants, Jenny Henry and Natasha Barbara as well. So that is our kindergarten team, and so for next year and beyond. Our kindergarten teachers made a wonderful, just a class of 2033 video from our previous kindies, our future first graders, and we'd love to share that with you now.
Hey Andrew, hey what? Are you ready for what? Class is 2033.
Yeah. Oh.
Hi, I'm Adeline, and my favorite thing I learned this year was how to write so I can write my own books.
So, I'm going to tell you guys about brain bakes. So I'm going to start. So, brain bakes help your brain wake up when it's asleep. And you have to do exercises to wake your brain up.
And what ones are your favorite?
My favorite are Meltdown, woo! And I like Popsicle, and I also like Frozen 2.
My favorite thing that I learned in kindergarten is math because I loved it.
I learned about Sweden, they had an ice hotel that was made of ice, and that everything in their house is made of ice.
My favorite thing about class is pre-trace. You know why? Because I like playing with magnets.
So, I like reading stations, and there's a lot of fun things you can do on Raskit and iReady. Yeah.
And do you feel good about yourself that you've learned how to read this year?
Yeah. I like endangered species because I get to learn about in the going house, and they make their nests on sandstone cliffs. My favorite part of school is free choice and picking whatever I want. Welcome to El Dorado!
Woo! Okay, our agenda for our orientation here is just a few things to help make sure you and your kindergartners are prepared for next year. Transition to school, getting started at El Dorado, the dates you need to know about, kindergarten readiness, what our balanced beginnings looks like at the beginning of the year, invested parenting, and to assure you all that it will all be okay.
And this is something that you guys might not have heard of. It's called Parent Portal. This is how we register for El Dorado, how we do what's called online check-in, how you check for your report cards. It's kind of the portal that holds all that information. So if you ever have any questions or concerns about Parent Portal, our school registrar is Christine Chacon, and that email is on there, and her phone number is on there as well. And so she can help you with anything as far as access to Parent Portal. That's for field trips, all of that stuff. So wanted to share that information with you guys.
We'd like to share with you some important dates to remember, and first just know that we know it has been a very unique spring quarter of this school year, but we are planning to be back in school as the first day of school for Douglas County is Friday, August 7th, and we are going to proceed with this plan unless we are otherwise informed. And just so you know that when anything or if anything changes, we will make sure that you and the whole El Dorado community are updated as soon as possible. We will have a kindergarten meet and greet and supply drop off on August 11th. A really special event that our PTO puts on every year that we love is called Popsicles on the Playground on August 11th as well. And that's where we all get popsicles and meet each other, our classes, our teachers, spend time with each other outside. A day that students will not come to school as a regular day is August 26th. That's throughout the district. It's an assessment day where students sign up for around an hour of time that they will come into the building to do assessments with their teacher, and we'll be sending you information about that. Our back to school night is scheduled for August 26th, and our first round of parent-teacher conferences will be in October right before fall break.
Hi, I'm going to tell you about if your child is ready for kindergarten. And of course, we're going to take your kindergartners any way we get. They're all at different levels. Some children will come in reading and some will just have a few letters under their belt. But the first assessment we'll be doing is we'll be looking at your kindergartner as a whole. And we'll be looking at these domains: language, social, emotional, cognitive, physical, literacy, and math. Most of these, when we're looking at a kindergarten, will be observation-based. Some of these, like reading and writing, will be reading, writing, and math will be at a one-on-one. We'll be looking at your kindergartner to see where they stand as an average of where they are and what their next steps will be. So you can look at our kindergarten website for more information on our TS Gold Assessment, which is what this is called, and how your child stands right now as a kindergartner and what to look forward to.
All right, so for every other student, their first day of school is August 7th, but not for the kindies. We actually do a program called Balanced Beginnings, where we will let you know which certain group of kindergartners we will ask to come in the building for about 3 hours with all of the kindergarten teachers. So August 7th and August 10th will be what we call assessment days, where we take the kids and we just do a read aloud with them. We do an art activity. We do a writing activity just to observe the kiddos and see who gets along well with each other and basically what class they would be fitted best in. So that would be August 7th and August 10th. Then on August 11th, the teachers will sit down and do a class placement where we decide which kiddos are going to be with what teacher. And then we will let you know via our welcome email. So then after that, we will have a kindy open house from 2:30 to 4. That's where they can drop off their supplies and then meet their teachers. And then we will also have popsicles on the playground, like what Allison said, from 4 to 5, where they can get to know each other and meet new friends. And then August 12th will be the first day of kindergarten. All right, so for the first day of school, it is going to be very hard and emotional, but I promise the kiddos will be fine. So what we mean by be prepared is just make sure your child has a backpack, that they have 2 snacks. If they're ordering at school, make sure the child lets us know, or they need to bring a lunch. And then if you're dropping them off at the Kiss and Go, that's fine any other day, but the first day we would like you to walk them up to the front by the flagpole just to meet their teacher. We will be holding big signs with all of our names. That way, and your child should already know who their teacher is, so that way they can get in our line. Once we have all the students, we will use our educational assistants to support us to walk inside the school. So basically the kids will wave goodbye and blow you a kiss, but I promise they will be just fine. They're gonna be so excited when they get in there. Once we get in, we have a super fun day planned. We actually do a scavenger hunt around the school so they can get to know where everything is, like specials, like the lunchroom, like the office. So it's really fun, they love it. And then we end with a special treat at the end of the day. So snacks, recess, lunch, each child will be asked to bring 2 snacks. We ask you to keep them in the front of their backpacks just so they don't confused with their lunch. We always escort the kiddos to lunch and recess, so they're never alone. We always help them if they are ordering hot lunch to enter in their lunch number, so that way no worries for you guys. We're always there so the kids don't ever have to be nervous or scared about doing something on their own. All right, drop off and pick up. So Besides the first day of school, we meet at the flagpoles, but any other day we will meet on the blacktop, which is by the playgrounds, which is where we're going to have popsicles on the playground. So we encourage you to park and walk up. It's just easier just because the kiddos are so small. We do come out 5 minutes early at the end of the day just so they don't get trampled by the bigger kids. But we encourage you to walk up and pick up your child. That way they know where you are. And then in the morning, all students are able to enter the building through the front doors at 8:30. And for the first week of school, the kindergarten teachers will be standing up by the front to guide the students in, or we'll have our educational assistants standing up at the front. So the kiddos never have to be scared. We're always going to be there to help them walk back to their classroom on that first day.
Okay, kindergarten daily activities. Well, when you look at the schedule, don't think that everything's going to be in this particular order. It just varies through, we haven't developed our schedule yet, but you know that we'll start with, we'll have calendar and weather every single day. We'll do a reading, writing instruction and our phonics and spelling instruction, and of course math. We will have recess and snack. Typically we have a morning recess, an afternoon recess, and a lunch recess. And we'll have a couple snacks during the day. We'll do our science, social studies, and health curriculum. We'll have specials, art, music, and PE, and electives, which will be based on art, music, and PE. It'll be a structured elective. We'll have library once a week, and then we'll have brain breaks, probably 4 to 5 per day. And then every day we'll have a pride time where we can just sit in a circle and problem solve, talk about what good friends do and what bad friends do or don't do, and learn some social skills. So our day is going to vary, but all of this is included. We have a full day for full day kindergarten. And you'll see our arrival time and our lunch time and our recess time on the side here. And of course, like Ms. Kaufman said, we'll release 5 minutes early so our kids don't get trampled by the big kids. Okay, our specials, like I mentioned earlier, we'll have specials we have a new art teacher, Josh Jellison. He is going to be teaching art. Ms. Corellis will be music, and Mr. Nomis will be PE, and our health teacher. Specials are outside the classroom. We have a weekly rotation, so if we'll have PE for the whole week, and then the next week will be music, and the next will be art, not in that particular order. And our elective will be 1 time per week based on art, music, or PE. And then we'll have health rotation 4 weeks out of the year. And then of course, 1 time a week we'll go into library with Ms. Smith, and we'll get to check out books and listen to a story. Technology. Well, in kindergarten, we are 2 to 1 for iPads. We prefer the iPads because they seem to be a little easier for kids to navigate, and they don't have to log into their DCSD email. So we have a lot of educational apps, and those apps are on the kindergarten website for you to view. We also have Kindle apps if you have a Kindle. We used to have Kindles in our classroom, but if you have a Kindle at home, we have apps that are kid-friendly for them and educational. We integrate our technology in our curriculum every day. So for example, we'll have our iPad rotation and our reading and writing, or our ILAs, where they get to pick an app, listening to reading, or do some word work or some sight word work, and of course some math skills. And we teach them how to be safe with their iPads, and they do a great job. We do a lot through Seesaw app where they get to do things in the classroom, and you'll be able to view it at home as well, so you can see what's going on in the classroom. Programs. So at El Dorado, we have, for reading, we are doing the Next Step in Guided Reading by Jan Richardson. For phonics, we're doing our benchmark phonics word study workshop. For writing, we use the Write Tools. For math, we have a new math program. It's called Envision Mathematics. For science, we're using STEM Scopes. And for our health curriculum, we're using Second Step for our kindergartners. All of these are just, it's either a framework or a guideline that we use. Of course, we'll incorporate our best knowledge as kindergarten teachers and what's best and developmentally appropriate for our kindies.
All right, so at the bottom of this screen, we have the link to our kindergarten website where you can find all the information about kindergarten. Some additional information along with our supply list. We ask that your children bring a backpack that is large enough to hold a homework folder, a library book, a lunchbox, water bottle, and a change of clothes. I know you might have some cute small ones for toys or little stuffies, but we need one especially for kindergarten. Things to do at home over the summer and probably through the first semester of the school year. We ask that you practice zipping and buttoning things, following 3-step directions, such as clean up the blocks, get a book, and meet me on the couch, just so they can retain and get those steps done. And you can practice recognizing colors and letters and numbers, things like that. I can statements. Those are kindergarten grade level expectations. They are based on our Colorado academic standards. Our standards can be long and wordy and a bit confusing at times, so I can statements just break it down so that we're all on the same page. We know what to expect of our kids, and they're just easier for everybody. And our parent handbook, we can see under the parent tab in our website. That first link puts us out to our parent handbook. It has all the information you will need about kindergarten, and it's in alphabetical order, A through Z. So if you have any questions, that's probably your first place to look. And if you can't find the answer to your questions, of course, you may email any of us at any time. Right, invested parenting. So again, over the summer and throughout the year, we would ask that you, or we encourage you to read to your child daily, just so they can get used to hearing that fluent reader and what they should be hearing, what it should sound like, and being able to recognize separate words on the page. Practicing writing his or her name. We will be doing a ton of pencil and paper work, so to identify whose work it is, they will need to write their name on every paper. So just practicing that great skill. Practicing letter recognition. A lot of what we start with in kindergarten is learning our letters and our sounds. And so we just ask that you practice with them their ABCs and recognizing out of order. If we show them an S, they'll be able to say, oh, that's an S, pretty quickly. That's what we work on a lot in kindergarten. So just having that practice would be great. Teaching your child nursery rhymes, beginning to hear rhyming and recognizing that ending sounds are the same. Practicing counting and writing numbers for our math skills. Don't be alarmed, just a side note, if your child is writing backwards. Sometimes that's a little weird to see that they're writing their numbers backwards or their full name backwards. That is completely normal developmental things. They will grow up and grow out of that. Begin learning phone numbers and addresses. That's more of a safety thing if they can learn their address and their phone number, or a cell phone number if that's what you have. And engage, play, and dedicate time to your child. That's so important because all your kid wants is just time with you, time to play with their parents. And so we just don't want you to forget to make sure you dedicate special time just for your kids. Building fine motor skills. So your motor skills are those little tiny muscles in those little hands of theirs. So they're still developing. So ways that we can help strengthen those muscles is practice cutting paper using scissors. I have these scissors here. We've seen some crazy ways that kids hold scissors. They're just all over the place. So really just having those 2 fingers in the bigger hole and the thumb in the smaller hole and just cutting some paper. So get some arts and crafts going at home over the summer. Practicing holding a pencil correctly. As we can see in the little right-hand corner of this screen, there's different ways kids hold pencils. They can grip it and hold it different ways, but just making sure that their grip is at the end of the pencil and that they can put that pressure on the paper so that we can see what they are writing. So again, just getting those art projects, practice using crayons, markers, colored pencils. Those art projects will really help them. Practice getting dressed independently, not only a great skill for them to start doing on their own, but again will help those little muscles in their hands as they grip different materials. Buttoning and zipping, sorry. You can do art projects, they can practice their buttoning their shirts, their clothes, things like that. And practice learning to tie shoes. Fun skill. Not everyone's going to learn it by the start of kindergarten, and that's okay. We will definitely help all kids tie their shoes. But you can just start that little skill. That would be great for us and for them, and start, again, building those little motor skills of theirs. Building social skills. So as Ms. Kaufman mentioned, once we place your kids, we will send out an email called the teacher letter in August, and we ask you to read this with your child. It's a letter stating who your teacher is going to be. It's going to have important dates like the first day of school, back to school picnic, things like that. It'll also have important links and documents like to our kindergarten website, the school website. It'll have maybe a survey, getting to know your kids, things like that. But read that with your child so they know what's going on, what they can expect in kindergarten, and to get them excited about coming to school. We also ask that you talk positively about school. As I said, that your kids will admire you, and what they hear from you, they're going to take to heart. So if you have a negative outlook on school, most likely they're not going to be excited to come. So just talk positively and get them excited, because we are very excited. Read books to your child about starting school. So some good books to like get them excited so they can start expecting what's going to happen, things like that. Some good books I wrote down on the first day of kindergarten, First Day Jitters, and Kindergarten, Here I Come. Those are some example books you could start reading. Set up play dates with classmates or neighbors. As the year gets going and they start making friends, we encourage to set up play dates so they can practice sharing ideas, some of their toys, and sharing their own space at home, again, to build those little social skills. Shopping for school supplies together is a great thing, just so they can, again, get very excited about school and have some ownership in the things that they are going to be doing. And they will most likely have a lot of questions, so just do your best in answering those and reach out to us if you have questions that you cannot answer. And use our name when you're answering some questions so that they know that you have a relationship with us, that we're an important figure, and just to build that rapport with everything that we do.
All right, I think this is me. So this is the family involvement piece. This is where we talk about classroom volunteers, student accountability. And let me tell you, we love parent volunteers, and we're very lucky at El Dorado. We do get a lot of parent volunteers. So we're very lucky, very excited to share the classroom with you guys. So there are plenty of opportunities to become involved here at El Dorado. First one is classroom volunteers. That gets set up through your teachers. And then the next one is our school accountability committee. Arthur Cook is our chair, and so he is somebody that he will typically send out information, and then coming to what's called the SAC meetings. And then there's also the PTO, which is kind of, if you hear about PTA, it's very similar. It's our parent-teacher organization. LaDonna Justice is our president, and Sarah Harmon is our vice president. And so we usually have our PTO and our SAC meetings on the same night, once a month. It might start at 6 p.m. and then end around 8:30, but we'll have the PTO meeting at the beginning and then the SAC meeting. And what PTO does is that's our parent community sponsorship program, where we do maybe fundraisers and really big community events. And then our SAC, or student accountability, is where we really get into the nitty-gritty of things like our budget and staffing and things like that. So wherever you're pulled, wherever your expertise is, I encourage you guys to get involved here at El Dorado. And then also the involvement in school events. So whether it's the chili cook-off or it's our family dance, just to come to all the school events. It's a great way for kids to get more invested in other kids and for families to be connected with other families. All right. So that is the end of our orientation. I know that obviously things with COVID are still very much up in the air. This presentation is ran as if we are starting back in August. I know that Ms. Hawk had said that earlier, if we're starting back fully like we would every typical school year. I will assure you that there are two big priorities here at El Dorado. We will 100% keep your kids safe at all times. That is our biggest goal. And so we will communicate with you guys as things happen throughout the summer on if there is any changes or anything that might shift what that beginning of the year process will look like. But I can guarantee you we will work, and our kindergarten teachers will work so hard to make sure that first experience with school is just as rewarding and memorable as you guys probably remember when you guys were in kindergarten. So what we have here is Kindergarten Orientation Padlet. So a Padlet is just where you can click on and get questions, or if you have some overall questions or anything after this orientation, we would be happy to come in. And what that looks like is you just write your question, your thought, or your idea, and then we would come in and we would give a response. If there's a personal question you want to ask that you might not want to share with the entire group, we are also available by phone or email. So we can also we can answer those privately and here on the Padlet, which is an open forum for all, for everybody to look at. We did the open forum just in case like one parent had a question and the other parent saw that question, was like, oh, I didn't even know that could have been, I had that question too. So it just allows for all of us. So just like how Ms. Hawk is writing in here, you would just click your question and then we would go in and answer it. All right, so that concludes our orientation. I just want to say welcome, and if any of you future kindies are watching this, I'm Ms. Crawford. I can't wait to see you guys. I saw a lot of you guys in our tour, and we are so excited for you guys to be future Panthers, or to be Panthers.
Welcome.
Welcome. Can't wait to meet you guys.
So
Yep, guys, welcome.
Welcome.